So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the hub where all of these resources are. Laura and Tamara and Donnie shared so many great things, and I don't know about you, but the past 9 months I've had so many resources coming in through email and have been exploring so many different sites that it kind of gets overwhelming sometimes. So what we wanted to do is to have a site where we could put everything and we can continue to add to it as Donnie shared. And we would love to add any additional resources that you have to it as well. So please keep in touch with us even after tonight. So let me share my screen. Okay, so here is our co-teaching website, which is collaborative between T-TEC William & Mary and ODU. And this is our home page. So this has all of our contact information in case you'd like to get in touch with us after. And we have each tab kind of based upon what we've presented tonight to you. So the first tab is co-planning in a virtual setting. So this has all of Tamara's information that she shared with you, all of the co-planning templates that you put your little stars by to see which ones you would want to use first or take back to experiment with. We've got lots of information and considerations packets, just as Donnie had mentioned in our last activity, that you can download and get more information about how to have those conversations with your co-teacher to build those relationships and distribute roles and responsibilities. There's many more sheets on tips for using co-planning time effectively and how to make it more efficient if you have co-planning time now, or if you're working with teachers who have that co-planning time. Ways to make it even better and improve. Then we have a co-teaching in a virtual setting tab, which has Donnie's presentation here that she just did. It has the co-teaching models in synchronous and asynchronous settings. This is the original document that we just worked through. And the ones that we added resources to just now is down here. So that's your live Google link. So you can go to that link as well to just recap what we talked about. And please feel free to continue to add information to that Google Doc as well, and it will upload automatically onto the site. We have many different webinars and podcasts and recordings of co-teaching in action in case you'd rather access it that way, in addition to different tips on how to make co-teaching effective. And then we're continuing to build a co-assessing in a virtual setting tab as well. And so one of the documents that we have from VDOE is the just-in-time math quick checks, which is pre-K through 8th grade, and then it has algebra on there as well. And then we have different videos from the Real Co-Teachers of Virginia co-assessing, just having discussions about that and how they do it in their classes. And that's elementary school and at the secondary level as well. And then another resource that we have in here is Assessing, Preventing, and Overcoming Reading Difficulties, which is actually a module by David Kilpatrick. And so you get into a lot of different ways to assess students, the way that they understand phonemic awareness and phonics, and if they're reading on appropriate levels. And those modules are free. So if you click on this link, it links you out to Department of Ed for Colorado, and you can access different modules and also get the cover of the book of what it looks like. But that's a great read to look into if you're interested in that structured literacy format for assessing reading.
And the books are in our lending library if they want to check them out.
Absolutely. Thanks, Laura. Yes. So just contact us or go straight to the site for the library if you'd like to look into that a little further. And then we have a tab for instructional resources. So as I mentioned before, the considerations packets that we talked about throughout Donnie's presentation, we have many more considerations packets that go along with co-teaching, co-planning, and also inclusive practices in general. So you can click on these links and download the materials and dive deep into more information about that. This evidence-based specially designed instruction in mathematics packet is new, that was released from the VDOE, and that has a lot of information about what evidence-based practice is for students in the area of math. So that should definitely help with, filling out that portion of the lesson plan that specifically talks about specially designed instruction. So that's definitely a great one. And then frequently asked questions is a good one too. So that might just help with any information that you're looking for as far as co-planning goes with specially designed instruction in math. And Laura had mentioned the CRA approach for mathematics instruction. So there's more information in this link here for that. We also have additional articles that are sent out through TTAC William & Mary and ODU, but we've uploaded all of the articles that relate to co-teaching, co-planning, inclusive practices onto this tab. So you can simply click on the link and follow it out to that article as well. And then we have a social emotional learning tab. This has all of the materials that Laura had talked about during her presentation. And she just added her PowerPoint here, so that's at the top of the list. And then as Tamara was mentioning, and getting into the conversations about relationship building and being able to work with your co-teacher to effectively plan, all of these adult SEL resources are here to provide support to you so that you can continue to be your own best friend and support yourself during hard times and in building new relationships.
Shelley, can I say one thing about that?
Sure.
I think it's that Penn State one that had some specific ones related to conversations, that when it says issue brief, principles,
Here.
social. Yeah, I think that's the one that had those things about how to talk to people.
Great, thanks, Tamara. And then of course we know that in order to make co-teaching effective as well as inclusive practices, we have to have that administrative support. And so especially if you're in a building or school division where there's high turnover for administration and you might come across someone who doesn't know as much about co-teaching and you're needing that support, there's a lot of resources here, just from the basics of what co-teaching is to how to make it effective to how to come in and do an observation in a co-taught classroom. Of course, it looks different than a regular classroom without two teachers. And then there's also inclusion basics as well for including students with disabilities in the regular class. And then there's a final tab that has related websites in case you're interested in learning more. There's a lot of information about Maryland Friends website, also Francis Stetson, so a lot of leaders in educational inclusion and co-teaching. And then our newly released Chalk It Up to Experience. This is the considerations packet from the Excellence in Co-Teaching project that also has a lot of information straight from the co-teachers themselves. So it has that practical in-field experience from teachers in Virginia who are going through the same exact thing right now. So it's nice to hear those voices from the field. And then in addition, there's a tab that has some co-teaching modules. So this one is Power Tools for Planning. So it kind of supplements with those lesson plans and agendas that Tamara was talking about. And then also there's podcasts if you prefer to listen to teachers and educators in the field talk about co-teaching and inclusive practices. So that's the overview of the website.